Hi everyone, what's going on? I'm so excited to get this podcast started. Welcome to the first episode of Yaga's Loc Talk Chronicles. If you don't know who I am, my name is Letitia. I am the host of this. There will be me only. It's something a little different from my Loc Talk Lounge. If you haven't seen my show, go ahead and look at that. It's on my YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast channels, Yaga My Locs. This is the Yaga Loc Talk Chronicles. This is just about my journey with locks, my different experiences, what I've been through, just, a whole lot of loc talk, right? So that's what I'm here and that's what I'm about. This episode that we're going to do today is DIYs, do it yourselves versus salons. So if you don't know, if you haven't seen any of my episodes of Loc Talk Lounge, I am on my second journey. So being that I'm on my second journey, I have two experiences of getting locks. My first journey, I went to a salon. And this journey, what I'm going on right now, what I have in myself, I started it on my own. Yay! So I started it on my own. So I was like, you know what? This would be a great first episode for Yaga's Loc Talk Chronicles, is just to tell you guys about the experience, the do-it-yourself version versus the salon version of doing locks or getting locks, having locks. I've experienced both of them. A little about me and my journey. I am on my second journey. If you don't know, journey number 2. This is number 2. I started this journey in 2018. My first journey, I'm not even sure what year I started that. My son is born 2010. So I started my first journey in 2009. Yeah, a year before I had my son. So that's when I started my first journey. That journey I got done. I had a loctician. I got that done. Nanny's locks and natural hair, shout them out. I got my locks done there on my first journey, and then my second journey, I did that myself. So let's get into the differences, the pros, the cons, like what it is, because, I know some people think that, this is easy. I could do it myself, and trust me when I say it's not easy, and not everybody can do this themselves, right? So before I begin, don't forget to press the subscribe bell. Make sure you follow us, whether you're watching on YouTube, you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Press the follow, press the bell, make sure you subscribe so you're not missing any of our podcasts when they come out, right? So I found why I started my second lock journey. Let's get to my second lock journey, because my first lock journey, that was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't amazing. It was energy and certain things that happened to me that made me start again. And honestly, I did want thicker locks and I wanted less locks. So that's one of the things why I started again. But I'm going to jump to the do-it-yourself version before I get into the salon, the differences and what it is, right? So I started this second journey by myself, did it myself. I knew enough because my first journey, 2009, I said, to 2018. Yeah, that was almost 10 years. So my first journey I've had for a while, right? So I kind of knew enough about locks and researching. Let's start with, I am not a loctician. I'm going to put that out there. I'm not a loctician. What I call myself is a hair artist. I like to adorn crowns with jewelry, hair sprinkles. I'm the first hair sprinkle tech in Canada. Yes. Right. So I like to adorn crowns. I do my own locks. I do my kids' locks. I could do my husband's locks, but I don't do actual individuals, clients' locks. I do the hair sprinkles, like if you see the doll, the little beads in the hair, that's what I do. And I also make wonderful lock jewelry. You can go to www.yagomylocs.com if you want to see that, right? But back into it. So when I started my second journey, I did know enough about locks, starting locks, maintaining locks, what to do with locks. I knew enough about that to be able to start my own locks. Let's start with, there are a few methods that you can start your locks with. When I first started my first journey, the loctician had started it with one strand, just a comb coil. This second journey, I decided to start with a 2-strand twist. There are also some people do also start with braids. So there's different methods that you can use. Some people do the instant locks and stuff like that. So there's different methods that you can use to start your locks. But this second journey, I had started my locks with the 2-strand twist, right? Which is what was great. If it started to unravel, it was easy to kind of twist it back together and everything like that. I found this lock journey locked way faster than my first lock journey. This one, I felt like I was like it was locked up. I started budding in like the 2-month mark, so it was great. But I guess my hair was used to it, so I don't know. But back to it, doing it myself, what things that I noticed and I've learned different from when a loctician had started my hair was, I don't care. You have to care. I feel like you have to, my business coach says to use I a lot. I feel like you have to care or not care how thick about certain things. You have to not care about it too much. Maybe do care about it if you know how to do hair, to start your own locks. Now, I am not, again, as I said, I'm not a loctician. I don't do, if I'm doing your hair, if I'm doing somebody else, like my daughter has the clean parts and everything like that, yes, I can do the straight lines and everything like that. But honestly, like I said, when I decided to start this second journey, it was kind of like I kind of want to be semi-freeform, thick locks, no more than maybe 50 locks in my head. And honestly, took this pinky and literally 2-strand. Got to the back. I don't know what I was doing because I couldn't see back there. 2-strand, right? So I started my second lock journey, 2-strand twist in my hair. Let's get into it. When I first started my locks, they told me I shouldn't wash my hair for 3 months, which now I think it's weird. Before, I didn't know much about locks. It was my first locks journey. It was like, yes, this is something I want to do. But I find now, I'm like, 3 months? Like, girl, why they have me waiting that long to wash my hair? Listen, I'm telling you, my second journey, I had water in my hair from the second day. So literally every other day, I dipped my hair back in my shower. I let my locks get wet. You know, if anyone did a little unravel, I did a little twirl around the finger, you know what it is, and let it be, right? 2 weeks, gave it the same wash. If anything kind of unraveled a little bit, did a little twist, twirl, let it be. And everything went well, really and truly. Nothing my hair didn't, the 2-strand twist didn't come out too much. Everything wasn't all over the place. So I don't know, I guess everybody has their own methods, their own ways of doing things and stuff. But I find that 2 weeks from getting your hair twisted, locked, you can wash it. That's what I personally think. But I would say trust your professional. That's just me thing. Again, I am not a professional loctician. I have just had locks for 15 years now. And I know enough, and I know enough about my own journey to just say my own experiences, right? But back to it. The pros of doing it myself. Yes, the first thing is what everybody's going to say: money, give me my money. Yes, you do save money. But I like to say to people, is saving money worth it in the long run? Especially if you're not comfortable with certain, like your hair breaking. I'm just going to say it. If you're not comfortable with maybe your hair breaking, if you're not knowledgeable at certain things and certain things start to happen to your locks on the negative side, then you stick to a professional. Really honestly and truly. I'm on my second loc journey. I know what comes and goes with locks. Some break, some thin out, depending especially what you're doing. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with short locks. I'm okay with long locks. Okay, so again, because I know that I didn't part my hair properly and I didn't make sure that the circumference and the parts were proper, I know some of my locks, I can show you right now, some of my locks go from like wick to like traditional to like sister. It's I laugh all the time about it. Like, this one is the best. Look, like it's like a wick, then it goes to like traditional or a sister. So I got locks of all different sizes, of all different lengths, and that's a part of the do-it-yourself journey, especially when you don't go to a loctician. So I probably see a loctician 2 to 3 times a year. That's to kind of get that damage cleaned up, because my hair doesn't grow into my locks, it grows out of my locks. So sometimes I need a little crocheting work done, especially if I have something somewhere really, really important to go and I want to get like a nice retwist and style done. I'll go to a loctician, but I mainly maintain my locks by myself, right? So a part of my bird a part of maintaining and doing it yourself is you will have locks, especially if you don't know about sizing. When you first start your own locks, you'll have locks that are different size. You may even have locks that pop off. Yes, it will happen. I'll show you some of my I'm not, like, as I said, you got to be comfortable. I think this is one that I may fix. This is maybe one that I've made crochet. Let me see. A popped lock. Like, you can tell that's a pop lock, right? Compared to that one, you see the difference in the length? Like, that one compared to, I think there's even shorter ones somewhere back here, right? But as you can tell, like, all my locks are not the same length. They are different sizes. And that's just because, yes, doing it yourself, not doing it the proper sizes, some of your locks may be different size. And then, I'm not going to lie, I've interlocked, I've even, like these, I only have 44 locks in my head top. I've interlocked it before. At one point, I think I didn't do it for like a good 7-8 months. And I think that broke my hair a little bit. So like the middle was like very poof, and because it doesn't grow in, and then my locks started to thin because I didn't get all that new growth in to stay attached to the lock. So you got to know a lot. You got to know some things if you're going to do your hair yourself. You got to know how your hair grows. Your hair can either grow into your locks or it can grow outside of your locks. My hair grows outside of my locks. My daughters love it. It grows into her locks. No matter what, her new growth, it's just a lot of new growth, but there's not a lot of bush around her locks, opposed to me where it's a lot of bush. And then, yeah, it's just different. Your hair can either grow into your locks or outside. My hair grows outside, and I find with me personally, it growing outside of my locks, I have a tendency to get more thinning locks if I don't make sure it's crocheted into the locks often. And then the worst thing about it is I'm semi freeform, so I don't do my hair often. So you can see why someone like me would have popped locks or thinner locks at certain points of my journey, right? I'm not gonna lie, I like doing my locks myself. I went through a very horrible experience with a loctician in Jamaica. That I'm going to save for another show, another podcast. But I went through a horrible experience. A loctician in Jamaica cut my locks. I will let you guys know the story because now I can laugh about it. It's very funny. That's one of the reasons why I also started my second journey, because no, that lady's hands was horrible. Like, my hair started kind of like really popping after that and stuff like that. Her energy wasn't there. Sorry, not sorry. If you're watching, you know who you are. Yeah. Right? But yeah, you gotta be comfortable with certain things if you don't know how to do locks. I'm just going to be very, very just straightforward. If you don't know enough knowledge about locks, if you're not a loctician, you don't know much even about just hair itself, and I'm going to be very honest, just because you're a braider doesn't mean you can do locks. Right? Just because somebody does locks doesn't mean they can braid or do a bust down wig or whatever however you guys call it. I'm sorry. But just because you can do one thing and you work with hair doesn't mean you can do another thing, right? So that's the only thing you have to be careful about, doing it yourself, right? So those negative aspects of, are you getting the parting right and the sizing right so that your hair doesn't thin, or it doesn't thin later on down the line, or you're not asking, well, I did big parts but the hair is thinner, right? So certain things do matter. I always say it's best to talk to a professional loctician to get their kind of a consultation with them and get more information. I like to say locks isn't for everybody too. Just because everybody has hair on their head doesn't mean you can lock your hair, right? I said it. I'm going to say it. Don't ask me why. I'm just going to say it, right? I said what I said. If you want to ask me why, put it in the comment section. Maybe I'll answer you. But locks ain't for everybody. Some people's hair can't take locks, right? It's too thin and stuff like that. But doing it yourself, it's amazing. It's the amazing part about doing your locks yourself is just you're completely with the journey with your loctician, but that's like on the emotional side, you're with the journey with your loctician and seeing everything. I feel like when I did it myself, I was more connected with my hair, with myself, more in tune with certain things. Like I actually like seeing the growth. I'm not gonna, like, yes, when a locticians do it, you see your hair grow and stuff like that, but to do it myself and see like what it's become, the growth and everything like that, to get the compliments, oh my gosh, I love your hair, it looks so great, who did your hair? I did it. I did it, right? It's that feeling, that part that I love about the doing it yourself version versus loctician doing it, right? Like, a loctician do it, they're gonna post your picture, they're like, listen, 7 years, 5 years, how much years, look where I got my client's hair, and they did get it there. But imagine I can post my own hair and be like, listen, how much years, like my hands, this is what I did. I love it. It's great. There is the negative sides to it, but to me personally, though, that's not negative, right? My popped locks isn't negative to me. I'm okay with it. Again, I've been on this journey for 15 years. I like to say to people, my husband is a Rastafarian. I'm not full-blown Rastafarian, but I do have a lot of Rastafarian views. So pop locks is not something that Rastafarians they worry about, they trouble their head about. It's something that it's a concern to them when their locks pop off and, oh, one is longer than the other. Like, sometimes it's just the bad energy, just letting it go when it got to go, right? So I don't care for the pop locks. I kind of like my wick to sister to traditional style. I actually really love them. I even like, I call them double-headed dragon, where it's one lock and then it separates into two locks. I think I have that. If I show you guys, let me see if I can get that one out. That one's right here. So if you see, it's one lock and then And look how long that one is. That one splits into two. So I love this. I love this. It's probably my favorite lock in my hair. Yes, it's one lock because it's a lock, even though it splits into two. Call them the double-headed dragons. So like, I love these, right? I just love it. I like that I got to start this journey, this second one by myself, and I wouldn't regret it no matter how much popped locks, thinning locks, how much times I may have to go to a loctician to be like, all right, fix me up a little bit. You know, I wouldn't change the fact that I started my locks this time opposed to when the first time somebody else started it for me, right? Now, the salon, the tea in the salon. What's the tea? No, there's no tea, right? I personally suggest that, again, if you don't know much about locks, don't listen to those people who's telling you, oh, girl, you can do it yourself. It's cheaper. It's not. It's not. To fix your locks, to fix thinning locks, to do all that stuff, it is not cheap. All right. Sometimes it ends up being more than what it actually would have cost for them to start it for you. I'm telling you that it's not cheap. I got hookups. I'm telling you for a fact it's not cheap, and I got hookups. That's why it's a bit cheaper for me. You know, shout out to Coco. Thank you very much. Miss Zaya have strength. Shout out to her. You know, she ain't charging. She don't charge me my arm, my leg. I'm about to give her some kids. Here you go. Take them because it's not cheap. The first time she actually fixed my hair and kind of evened it out for me, I know that should have cost me like $6-7 bills. It probably cost me like $253. It should have cost way more, and I know she charged me cheap just because we know each other. We're cool like that. Our sons are related. It is what it is, right? So we sister wives, yes. Right? So we're cool. I know it should have been more, and she hooked me up. She did me good and stuff like that. But it's not cheap to fix your locks. So if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not going to be okay with the thinning locks, with the popped locks, go to a professional loctician, go to a salon, get your hair done professionally. That's what I'm going to say. What are you going to get out of professional that you're can't do yourself? Well, first of all, you're going to get even lines. Like, they know what they're doing. Your lines are even. You can't see the back of your head, right? And if it's not something that you do often, your lines ain't going to get. So you're going to have the even lines that you're going to want, that you're going to like. They're going to know the ratio of what the box or what it's supposed to be like when they're making it for you. So they're gonna know the ratio of how thick you want your locks. If you want traditional locks, if you want wick, like, they're gonna know what size to do your boxes for the size of locks that you want. So there's a lot of things that they're going to do. They're going to tell you when you should come back for your next retwist, when you're retwisting, you're interlocking, however you're doing it, when your schedule should be. They're going to give you some knowledge about your hair type, what's good for it, what's happening with your scalp. If they know a bit about that, they're going to give you all that great knowledge for it. You're going to get a nice wash. You're going to get a nice steam. Nothing is better than somebody washing your hair. I'm telling you, nothing. Everybody knows that. Nothing's better than somebody else washing your hair for you, right? So you're going to get everything that you need when you get a professional service done, opposed to when you do it yourself. Period, right? You're going to get that professional, and you're going to get the knowledge that you're supposed to know without having to go to what I love to call YouTube University, which worked out for some. I'm going to lie. Shout out to YouTube University, because I have learned a lot from YouTube University, right? But there is a lot that has been like, if I had done that, it would have messed up my hair. Yes, right? So you got to know what to pick and choose out of YouTube University. And why combobulate your head with all this information when you have professionals that been in this industry for years that can just give it to you. Give it to you. Do what they need to do with the knowledge that they have in your hair and send you about your way and tell you to come back, right? So that's what you're actually getting going to a professional salon, right? the knowledge. You're paying for that knowledge. You're getting like the professional service, what you need done, and to know that 2, 3, 4 years from now, there won't be these thinning locks. And I'm not saying there won't. There probably will, depending how you sleep, your routine of your everyday life and style, like the lifestyle and stuff like that. I'm not saying if you go to a salon, you won't have popped locks, your hair won't thin out. That's kind of like also your lifestyle, what's going on with your lifestyle, not really what the loctician did. But what I'm saying is, doing it yourself and not knowing the proper knowledge, you're more guaranteed to have the mess ups than going to a salon, right? Not everybody can do it themselves and get these great, beautiful, luscious locks that they're looking for. And I find these days that the people that are doing it themselves are doing it not because it's just to save money. I'm not gonna lie, your locticians, ooh, them price tags, boy. Nah, man. When I started my locks, when I did it in a salon, it cost me $80. $80 to start my locks, and I'm pretty sure I had at least 80 plus locks in my head. Now, oh, when I'm hearing these prices, I'm like, I'm just gonna go back into my bathroom and go look in my mirror and twist my hair, because that's crazy. That's sometimes I'm like, from what I started at to what it is now, yeah, it's a lot, but I get it too as a business owner. What you're paying for, the knowledge and stuff like that, I do get it. Inflation, right? Tariffs now. So I do get it, but what I'm saying, 15 years ago when I started a starter lock at $80. I did a retwist for $50 freestyle. I think maybe by like 6, 7 months, obviously again, things have to change. Policies, procedures, pricings. It turned to $60 for a retwist, $10 for the style. And then I think the last time that I remembered before I kind of stopped going to the loctician was like $100 and like $20 for a style, or $80, something around there, 80 or $100 and $20 for the style. But either way, now I know sometimes what I go places and 130, 160, two bills for a retwist. What? I know my daughter's, thankfully, I've known my daughter's loctician who does my kids' hair, shout her out, Emma. I known her since I started my first journey. She worked at the salon. Whew. I hope she never changes my prices for me, but my daughter's hair retwist is $60. That's full head of locks, and I don't even remember what my son's, because my son picks and chooses whether he wants to go to his brother's mom or Emma, so I can't even remember, but it's a hefty price raise from what I was used to when I started my locks, but at the end of the day, I understand why, right? I understand why it's the price raise, the raise in the price, and at the end of the day, it's going to cost you more to fix it. I find that you still have some people who get locks for the culture, what it may represent. Maybe they're moving into Rastafarianism and they want to get some locks. And then you do have people who get the locks for just being fashion. They just want it for fashion and stuff. And I just want locks to have locks, and I think it looks good on me and stuff like that, right? So especially if you're doing it for fashion, you're not going to be able to take pop locks, thinning locks, some locks this size, some locks that size. So I would suggest, especially for fashion, save the cheap way out. Go to the salon. Don't do it yourself. Don't listen to those naysayers saying, oh, it's cheaper, you can just do it yourself, or come, I always do single braids in my hair, I can do it for you. Go to a professional, right? It's just better, right? So all in all, you guys, yeah, do it yourself versus a salon, what would I pick? Which one would I pick? Honestly, do it myself, just because I more have locks for the culture and the movement more than the fashion. So the pop locks and all those stuff, it doesn't bother me really. And just that journey of doing it myself and seeing the growth and what's going on and knowing that I'm the one who did it, I love that part in it. So me personally, knowing that I did it both ways, I have the experience of going to the salon and I have the experience of doing it myself, I would pick doing it myself, regardless of my thinning locks, my pop locks, my wick to traditional locks, like regardless of anything. I would still choose doing it myself over a salon, right? I started my daughter's locks, but I don't do them. I'm honestly maybe once or twice a year I do my kids' locks, but I send them to a salon. So that shows to tell you that I'm not all about doing it myself. I would prefer somebody else do my kids' hair. I prefer to do my hair myself because I know that I am a semi-free-formed lock queen. So to do my hair every month, isn't a thing. I feel that my kids need to have of a more maintained hair. It doesn't need to look all bushy, especially my daughter, all wild all over, especially my son. Both of them. I have a daughter and a son. They don't need to having their hair bushy looking wild and all over the place. And I find even too, because they're kids, they're outside in the elements, all that dust, all that playing out there and stuff. They need a good scrubbing, a good washing and stuff. So I prefer to let the loctician deal with that, right? But either way, when it comes to my family, my kids, we're throwing them on the loctician side. Y'all go over there. But for me personally, I love my do it myself. I love every aspect of the journey that I had doing it myself. I love playing with it. I love interlocking it today, twisting it tomorrow, crocheting it the next day. Guys, I've done everything in this lock journey. Probably why I have some thinning and some pop locks, because I just do. The only thing, right? Only thing I don't use conditioner. I don't use much product in my hair either. So only time product is used, like the gels or anything, is when I go to a loctician, right? But other than that, even when I'm maintaining my own hair, I only use like my oils, my natural oils in my hair. And then I twist it or do what I have to do. I don't use no type of gels or anything like that, right? So I love every part of it. I love it. No, I would never go back to a salon. I would do. No, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. This is safe for our next podcast, but sister locks, third journey, thinking about it. Just don't want to be sitting down in a chair for so long. But we'll get back to that. You guys, thank you so much if you stayed and watched the whole episode of Yaga's Loc Talk Chronicles. This was about doing it yourself versus salons, which knowing that I did both, which one I prefer, the pros and the cons versus anything. Again, no matter what you see or hear, even on the show, unless you see me bring a professional. Loc Talk Lounge always has professional locticians on that. I would like to say that anybody there, it's a professional. But no matter what you see out there, if not a professional giving it to you, just go and to a professional. I'm not saying, oh well, it's on YouTube, I think they're professional, they said that. Go physically into a local salon and go and talk to that professional, right? Again, it's Letitia Thomas, your host here at Yaga's Loc Talk Chronicles. Make sure you press that subscribe bell, that follow button. Make sure you are following us for our next episode. Comment if you have an idea of what you want me to talk about. I'll go ahead and talk about what you guys like. I'm about locks, adorning crowns, self-empowerment, all that stuff. And if you don't want to let me know what you want to talk about, I'll just talk about me. No problem. I'll just talk about my journey. This is something new for me. I said, When I know people, I'm a very fun, out there person. I'm wild. I like to have fun, not like wild, wild, but like, I just like to have fun with my friends and stuff like that. But I'm inside, I'm like really shy. I don't like to really meet new people. I don't like to talk about my struggles, even the positive things that happen to me, right? I'm the first hair sprinkle tech in Canada, and it's hard for me to even say it out loud to people, right? I can say that I've put hair sprinkles on the map for Canada. Wow, see? I said it and I'm going to post it on the national web. See, that's not something that I do. Like, I'm very quiet about things that I do, things that happen to me in my life and stuff like that. I don't talk about it much. So I figured if I can maybe say it in a camera and one, two, three, four people are listening, it may help somebody else. Maybe somebody else maybe going through a little struggles with their hair or their personal life, and just even listening to me, hearing my stories, and it'd be like, oh, I'm not the only one, because I've started to realize certain things in life, a lot of things in life, not certain things in life, a lot of things in life. I know I'm not the only one, but I have a mindset that this is only happening to me. Why? And I realized, like, even talking about like certain things with people, it's happening to them too. And I'm like, girl, you act like this is only happening to you. There's a lot of people experiencing this. So like, you're good, right? But anyways, we're not gonna get into that. Thank you for watching this episode. Yeah, this Loc Talk Chronicles, episode 1, doing it yourself versus Salon Locs. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.